Are you scared of going upside down, or maybe you're not strong enough to hold a handstand? Then this class is exactly the right class for you. It's a follow along class, so I explain the drills and you follow along with me. Hopefully within this class you will get more comfortable in going upside down, and as well calming your nervous system to teach you that it's safe to hold your body weight upside down, and also as a byproduct you will for sure get stronger, especially if you repeat the class several times. I'm going to take you through a warm-up first, and then we're going to go together through different drills. I will explain every single drill to you and as well the why behind. So let's just get started with a little warm-up for the wrists and the shoulders. Just have your hands on the floor, walk the hands around, shoulders in internal rotation, shoulders in external rotation, maybe the back of the hands on the floor, just feeling the floor, feeling the hands, feeling the wrists. And maybe at some point it feels a little bit sensitive in one of the places, then maybe just stay there for a little bit. Just gradually loading the wrists. And then let's go into external rotation through the shoulder, the crease of the elbows pointing forward, fingers facing you. Now I want you to round the spine, tuck the tailbone in, lean the hips back, so you feel a nice stretch here through the forearms. To make that a little bit more intense, push the fingers into the floor. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shoulders over the wrists, then flip the hands so the back of the hands are on the ground, fingers facing you. Extend your arms again. If they're extended, try again to go into that external rotation, so the crook of the elbows pointing forward, triceps is switched on. Then round the spine again, lean the hips back and just gently rock from side to side. You should feel now a stretch on the other side of the forearms. Maybe with each rock you can lean a little bit further back. And then come stationary, shoulders forward, elbows to the side, roll back onto your hands. Hands directly under the shoulders, index and middle fingers pointing forward. And then we just rock back and forth, but maybe with each rep try to lean a little bit further forward. Getting a little bit more load into that wrist extension. So shoulders in front of the fingertips. Next time when you're in that forward lean, hold it there. Round your upper back, meaning protraction through the shoulder blades. Think of pulling the shoulder blades away from each other. Tuck the tailbone in. Push fingers into the floor for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then push all the way back. Then make fists facing each other. Open into fin and close again. So we do that a couple of times. Whenever you move through those two positions, make sure you keep the elbows straight so you don't bend into the elbows. A few more of these. And the next time when the hands are open, keep the hands like that, slightly lean forward, bend into the elbows so the chest travels to the hands, and then you push back up. Lean forward, bend into the elbow. So it's not the face that goes down to your hands, it is your chest. Let's do 3 more of these. And last one. Then hands back under the shoulders. Press the knuckles of your index fingers into the ground. Slightly lean forward and then lift the palms off the floor. Lower the palms back down. So the elbows stay straight and the shoulders stay stacked over the wrists as well. So we're not leaning back and forth. So you want to stay stacked, going up and down. And if you do these correctly, you should feel your forearms pumping. So you get a bit of a blood flow into the forearms, but also they have to work hard in order to get those palms lifted. Let's do another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then walk your hands forward until the hips are over the knees. Try to get onto your fingertips, and we started an active, sort of puppy pose, actively opening up the shoulders. So tailbone is tucked in. Think of hollowing the chest, lifting the sternum up. Energetically, the armpits want to pull down towards the floor, but nothing is actually moving. Just a very active shoulder opener in this position. And then from there, look in between the hands. Now arch the spine, back bend, lift the tailbone up, chest and armpits towards the ground. Try to keep your arms straight. From there, we're going to keep the shoulders where they are. And then I want you to tuck the tailbone in without lifting the shoulders up. Feel a more intense stretch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then slowly make your way out. So when it comes to handstanding, once you're upside down, the main strength is actually coming from your traps, your upper back muscles and mid back muscles. Your upper traps, they are amongst other things responsible for your elevation. So in a handstand, when we're upside down, we actually want to emphasize as much as possible on that elevation, on that push. So once you're upside down, thinking of pushing the shoulders down towards the ears. And there might be a lack of strength, a lack of mobility, or just a lack of understanding how to do that. So the first step is actually getting used to what it means to elevate the shoulders. And for that, I want you to sit on a wall with the legs extended ideally, but if you have super tight hamstrings, it's all right if you want to bend the knees and sit in a position that is a bit more comfortable. Then first what I want you to do is stretch your arms out and then keep the shoulders depressed. That means shoulders away from the ears. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, and now you're going to try to lift the arms as high up as possible towards the wall without spreading your arms. And you get stuck. So that's literally as well where I get stuck. Now from there, instead of pulling the shoulders away from the ears, elevate the shoulders to the ears. So lift the shoulders to the ears and then see how much further you can go. You want to make sure though, as you lift the arms off your head, you're not collapsing too much or compensating through the chest. So you want to try to keep the chest in. So try to keep the spine touching the wall, even a little bit in the lower back by a posterior tilt, tucking the tailbone in. But more so think of pulling the sternum back. Now let's do that again. So you drop the shoulders, you get stuck, then you elevate the shoulders and you will be able to go further, right? Awesome. Now let's hold this position, that elevation. Now drop back into depression. Now we're going to go up into elevation as high as you can go and drop again and lift. Trying to keep the arms as close to the wall as possible, even if they're not touching, but as long as you aim to go as far back as possible, we're working on the right muscles. Up and down, up and down. And then next time when you're in that elevated position, hold it here. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then drop again. So you might have already felt how it's tiring in your shoulders, right? But all you do is basically lifting the shoulders up and down without any load. Now imagine having to do exactly the same, being upside down. We're going to start doing that in a sort of downward facing dog or pike position. Don't need to go into the position right now. I'm just going to demonstrate first. So from the side, so the wider or the further feet apart from the hands, the sort of easier you make it. So ideally you walk your feet as far forward as you can. So we go into, or we imitate a handstand as much as possible. So we're going to go a bit more vertical. So having the hips higher up will make it harder, but that's the goal eventually. So have a look at my shoulders. I'm going to do the same here. So first, I'm going to be depressed, meaning the shoulders away from the ears. Because we're now upside down, it sounds, or the moment you're upside down, proprioception, body awareness is gone. So always think of shoulders away from ears, and then as I push, as I elevate, shoulders push down towards the ground, towards my ears. And then I drop again, and then I elevate. We're going to do 10 reps and then hold 10 seconds on the last rep. So find your position, index, middle fingers more or less pointing forward. And then we start in a dropped position, meaning shoulders away from ears. So you just drop. There shouldn't be that much strength needed as you're just relying into your joint. And then from there, think of pushing the floor away. Shoulders travel up to the ears as far as you can go, and then just relax again and drop. And again, lift up and down. And again, lift up and down. And lift, down, elevate, push, down. We're going to do 3 more reps, and on the third rep, we're going to hold for 10 seconds. Last one, push as far as you can, and for 10, 9, 8, 7,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. So the moment you are upside down, or whenever you attempt a handstand, you want to think of that elevated position. Like I'm gonna do a handstand right now, and you see what that means as I hold it. But I'll make sure I have enough space here behind me, so I'm not actually kicking into the wall. There we go. So in the elevated position is where I am the most stable. The shoulders push down to the ears. Because I can handstand, yes, I could be sitting down here as well, but I will be super wobbly, and I will definitely not be able to hold it as long as I want to. While if I elevate, I'm creating that torque and stability through the shoulders, and that's where we hold the handstand. But again, the moment you're upside down, you're holding basically your whole body weight in that elevated position, and that's what makes a handstand tricky when it comes to strength, but also mobility. So think of what we did before. If I can elevate, then I can open the shoulders more. Now, if I have the whole body, so let's say I can do that in a seated position. So you have the shoulder mobility, but then the moment I have the body weight on top of the shoulders, and I won't be able to elevate as much anymore, so that's my max strength, then that's also the max range I can go. So the stronger we get in that elevation, the better our shoulder mobility will be as well. Cool. Now we do just a little bit of, to get the shoulders as sort of a little bit of a rest, body tension drill, which is a hollow body hold. Sort of a hollow body hold. What I want you to do is to lay on your back, and then make the position super small first. Bring your knees to your chest, your arms above your head, not touching the ground, but as close to the floor as possible. Then tuck the tailbone in, lower back is touching the floor the whole time. Keep that connection to the ground with your lower back, and then you can start extending your legs only to the point where you can keep that connection. The moment you start arching in the back, that means you made the position too big. So find a position that is challenging for you to hold that posterior tilt, tucking the tailbone in, abs on, but it should be challenging but manageable to do. If you're fully extended, then that's great. Let's hold that here. Let's see if I can talk through that. And you should feel your abs all the way down, working hard. You keep that posterior tilt again to keep that tension through the lower back, pushing into the ground. If you feel like you're starting to collapse, then make the position a little bit smaller. We're going to hold this for another 20 seconds. Another 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Perfect. Now we're going to do, whenever I teach handstands, doesn't matter what level, in my classes we do a chest to wall handstand. Now this class, or you're doing this class because most likely you are not comfortable going upside down. But yet I want you to be exposed to going upside down, but you stop wherever you feel like you don't feel comfortable anymore. The more you do this class, you might be able to go closer and closer to the wall. So this can be done just in a regular plank position. Feet on the floor and towards the wall. You walk your hands forward, and then think of pushing the shoulders down. Since you're more in a plank position, that will be more into protraction. Upper back is rounded. But then, as you start walking up, it's a little bit more overhead. So the shoulders push again towards the ears. So we don't do the drop and push anymore. We just push the whole time. Maybe this position is enough for today. Maybe you shift a bit of weight so you can walk up a little bit further or further until eventually you reach a full chest to wall where you're completely upside down in that vertical state. So find whatever position you feel comfortable today. If you're going to come down before we finish the round, you can just finish in a plank. So we still get the hang time in. So let's get started. You just walk as far as you feel comfortable. That could be here, that could be lower. I'm going to go all the way to the wall. And then from here, think of tucking the tailbone in Whatever position you're in, then ribs down, elevating or pushing the shoulders towards the ears. We're going to hold this, stay in that position wherever you are. I'm going to walk forward a little bit more, so I might be more in the position you are. Think again of that hollow body shape that we just did before. Tucking the tailbone in, rounding through the upper back, pushing the floor away, squeeze the legs together. I'm going to hold that for another 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then you can walk your feet down and have a little bit of a rest. We could do that another 2 rounds, but for today, as it might be your first time doing this class, for today we're just going to do 1 round. If you've been repeating this class, then feel free, next session you do a 2nd round, and then the 3rd session maybe a 3rd round. Don't need to do more than 3 rounds though. 3 rounds is perfect. Awesome. Now you need an elevation. That can be a box. You can place your feet on a sofa, on a chair, just something that is stable. And we're actually going to learn to move the shoulders back and forth. It is one of the corrections in handstands and also makes your shoulders fairly strong. So the higher the feet, the harder, the more intense the exercise, as you can get the hips further over. And eventually the hips want to be over the base of support. So the hips is your center of mass, the hands are your base of support. So the more over the hips, the harder you make the exercise. So don't need to go into it yet. I'm going to demonstrate first. So the feet are elevated, and then similar to before in that downward facing dog position, we want to have the shoulders pushed to the ears. We keep that elevation and the hips, as I said before, as high up as possible. Then as well, try to sort of switch on your upper abs a little bit and a little bit of a tucked tailbone, because that will prevent you from collapsing too much, because we want to resist that collapsing as much as possible. And what we're going to do is we lean. So I'm on my tippy toes, I push through the tippy toes, lean the shoulders forward and then push back. Lean the shoulders forward and push back. So what should not happen is leaning forward and then you collapse into the chest. So we maintain that elevation as we lean forward. We're going to do 10 reps together. So hands on the floor, find your position first, hips as high up as possible, a little bit of a posterior tilt, tucking the tailbone in, and then we're going to lean, a little bit of a roll through the toes, and then push back. Lean forward and push back. Keep the elevation, do not drop. And again, 4, keep the arms straight, 5, look down to the floor, 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 1 last, leaning forward, pushing back, and then slowly make your way out. Beautiful. You might feel like that's quite intense, and I agree, it is. See it as a little bit of a conditioning drill to get strong in the shoulders, but again, we have a little bit more proprioception where we are in space. So as you lean the shoulders forward, you might have seen on the video, my hips come forward as well. So it's all about getting the hips as much over the base of support as possible. Awesome. Anytime, if I'm going too fast, you can always press the stop button, have a drink of water, a sip of water, and then continue. We're going to continue with a little bit more, or imitating the handstand a little bit more. So gradually we're getting more and more weight up, and we're going to get more stacked, and we're going to get more vertical. So this time we will be doing it together again, but I'll demonstrate first. Going to go into that similar position, elevating the legs. Now the more flexible you are in the hamstrings, the lower you can be. Now if you have tight hamstrings, then you might have to elevate the legs way more, or we can actually as well do it on the wall. Yet the wall might be a little bit too intimidating yet, so you sort of need to find the position you're comfortable in.
Might be a little bit of a trial and error, but I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. So again, the shoulders stay over the hands. I push the shoulders towards the ears. And then all we do is I'm lifting one leg up. We're not actually gonna release anything or move anything. I'm just gonna lift that leg as high up as possible and then lower the leg again. Then we're gonna lift the other one as high up as possible, pulling the leg up and over and then coming down. To get that leg really high, I'm trying to squeeze the glutes, coming down. The other variation, you can do this on the wall. Now, ideally you have a distance, sort of a leg distance apart. So wherever my foot is, I'm placing my hands. And then from there, one leg is parallel to the ground, shoulders are stacked, shoulders are elevated, and then I'm gonna lift one leg up, and then lift the other leg up. So in terms of hip flexibility, hamstring flexibility, this is a lot easier. But if you're scared of going upside down, this is obviously harder because you're even more in a handstand. So try to choose your variation that works for you. And we're gonna do 5 lifts of the legs each side. So either on the box or on the wall, make sure that that leg that is on the wall is not too high. You wanna bring it low. And then we're gonna lift one leg up, bring it down, and then the other leg up and down. And again, first one, down, up, down. 3 more lifts per side. Keep the shoulders elevated. Try not to collapse. And we have one last rep up, and the other one up and down, and then slowly come back down again. So especially if you were on the wall, you're nearly there. Obviously it doesn't necessarily mean you can handstand, because learning to handstand or learning to balance, what it actually means is a different story to then just being upside down and using a wall. I do have another video that is a handstand for beginners, but someone who can already be upside down and is comfortable being upside down, and that will teach you everything about what it actually means to balance. So the hands, the fingers, the forearms, the shoulders, they're responsible to keep the center of mass above the supporting base, and they need to learn to do the necessary corrections to then be able to balance. But first we need to get used to being completely upside down, but that's already great. As well, this you could do 2 or 3 round max next time, just gradually loading a little bit more rounds to get you stronger. You can as well see it as progressive overload. When you do regular strength training, you gradually either increase the weight or you increase the reps to the moment your body is adjusted. You need to give it a new stressor, and that's exactly what we do here as well. Then we're gonna finish up with a little bit of a conditioning, and we're gonna do some wall walks. 3 exercises ago we did the chest to wall, and I had you to walk as close to the wall as possible. Maybe you are already feeling a little bit more brave to walk a little bit further up, but now it's not necessarily about holding. We're just gonna walk up and down 3 times. In order to make that efficiently, or the way we do want to walk up, so it's not about bending the elbows and you want to go up as fast as possible. We want to build strength through the shoulders. So ideally I'm keeping my arms straight as I walk up, so the walking comes from the shoulders rather than just moving the hands. What does that look like? So we're going to hold a plank position first, arms straight, shoulders always push down. Then I'll start walking my feet up, shoulders are pushing down. Now I can't go any further with my feet. Then I start walking and shifting weight. You see my arms stay straight, so the push comes from the shoulder rather than just walking like this. So we keep the push, and then we go as far as we can go. We'll feel comfortable, and then we reverse. We do exactly the same, but I keep the elevation and the push through the shoulders, maintaining the arms straight. We're gonna do 3 reps in total, and
see how we go. So start in a plank, push the shoulders down. Then all we do is walking the feet up. As you walk the feet up, we're gonna go more into overhead position, shoulders push down, and now I'm gonna start walking the hands. You stop wherever you need to stop or you feel comfortable, and you wait there until whoever goes to the wall, we walk back. Then everyone walk back until you reach again that plank position, walking the feet down into plank. And we're gonna do 2 more reps. Walk your feet up, can't go any further with your feet. Keep the arms straight, push through the shoulders, 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 up to chest to wall, or however far you can go. And we walk back down, 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 walk your feet down, and then hold in the plank. We're gonna do 1 more rep. Again, to wherever you feel comfortable. Maybe you can challenge yourself a little bit more. Walking a little bit further. Moving forward again. So whenever we do any of these exercises, you really want to emphasize pushing the shoulders down, meaning elevation. Trying to sort of keep that hollow body position, tucking the tailbone in, ribs down, legs together. As you walk up, the legs might be spreading a little bit, but for most holds or hollow body shape positions. As well, this one, have as much break as you need. You can add a second and or a third round as you repeat this session. I don't want to add too much anymore because the fact that you might not be yet strong enough to go upside down, or you're still a little bit scared to go upside down. If I add more and more and more, I think we're overloading the nervous system too much. So I'm gonna rather keep it very precise to the exercises that I think will help you improve all these aspects. And once you are ready to take the next step, then again, the other follow along video that I have uploaded will definitely help you working on your handstand more and more and more. So for now, thank you very much. I hope to see you again next time, and please let me know in the comments how you're going, and happy handstanding.